What is up, everybody? Hambone here, bringing you a kind of a showcase video on how I set up everything on OBS and how I like to record things, because OBS is actually pretty good for a few things. Like streaming, it's pretty much a given. Most people use OBS when it comes to streaming things on Twitch, and a lot of people still use OBS to even record video, which I do. Mostly one, because it's free, and two, the file size is actually pretty good compared to, say, Fraps. If you use Fraps, the file size can be pretty large. I mean, you can use up a whole 1 terabyte hard drive, no problem. If you record just like hours of gameplay. I mean, probably even before that if you use a high resolution. But first of all, I'm just going to show you here. So we'll open up OBS. So this is OBS Studio. I'm pretty sure that is the official name of it. And I know everything looks really funky here. It's because I'm technically recording on my display. So it sees everything here, so it's just mirroring it over and over again. It looks really cool though. Okay, so the first thing you see here, we have the mic / aux, which is how it hears our microphone, and it can see every time that I talk, and we've kind of got it at a good level. It's nothing too loud. If it gets too loud, it'll kind of shoot up in this area here. The desktop audio is what you hear like through my speakers or through your headphones. You also have sources, which is how you capture everything. So say I click this eye right here, it will turn off display capture and you won't see anything. But I can turn it back on here, no problem. Then you can see everything again. One handy thing, back on the audio here again, you can actually lower like the decibels, so it's not as loud, and like if you have it too loud, it can kind of sound distorted and kind of ugly. So I just kind of keep it on normal, and then I just kind of raise everything through my Focusrite Scarlett Solo. Let's see. This right here, if I'm streaming, I open that on. It's a thing set up where, say, if someone follows, it shows the little GIF that comes up there and plays. The game capture, this is what I use to capture my games. Now, this isn't always, it doesn't work too well if you keep it on, say you go to properties here. If you keep it on capture any full screen application, it can take a second sometimes to come up, and I've had issues where it doesn't even come up. So it'll actually detect all like your games and do it for you. But I just capture a specific window, and say I'm playing GTA or something, I can choose it here. But I have had after the recent updates, I've had a better, it's done better with that, so shouldn't really be any issue just keeping it on that. So if you are capturing a game, you want to keep this unchecked here, where it's not marked out. I don't use scenes. I mean, if you're just recording and you're not like setting up multiple things to where, so you can just click one thing on here to change the scene. So you go from this huge recording layout to Twitch streaming layout kind of thing. You can do that, but since it's so simple for me, I don't really do any of that. One little handy thing down here, this is like your status feeds type thing. It shows like what percentage your CPU is at, which is really helpful if like when you're streaming or recording. However, I'm not really using my CPU when I record. They allow GPU acceleration with this, so that is one of the easiest things to record with, is using your graphics card, which I will show you here how to select. So we're going to go into settings, and then over here, say you're wanting to stream. Okay, we're going to look at those settings. You'll actually have to get your stream key and everything from Twitch, but yeah, it's a little more complicated, and that could take some time to show. That might have to be a separate video on how to do that. But we're just going to go back to general here. Everything here, you should just keep, I think this is all the same when it first comes on. Yeah, I don't change anything on here. Okay. So output, this is the streaming section, which you don't really need to worry about unless you're wanting to stream. However, if you want to look at it, this is how I have it set up. Everything right here, that's the bitrate. You might have to change your bitrate though. There's a few things here you'll have to change based on your preference of quality and performance. However, my internet's actually doing pretty good right now, so I actually kind of keep it that's sort of a high, that's a pretty high bit rate, but I mean, I can make it a little higher, but since I'm at 1080p, it doesn't really matter. Say if you're at 4K, you probably want that a little, just a bit higher. Yeah. You're just gonna want to keep your preset on high quality, or once again, however you need to do it to be able to keep a smooth playback. This is how I have everything set up here, though. So I do use 2-pass encoding, so that way it doesn't make it as blurry if you're using that, which I think can be pretty hard on your computer, though. Now, since I'm recording right now, I can't change any of this stuff. I can show you it, though. You can kind of see it behind here. The encoder should say either, I think it's default X264, or if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, I'm not sure about AMD, but if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you can choose NVENC. I thought it was usually called NVEC, but NVEC H264, which is the GPU acceleration, which really makes it easy to record. It makes it a lot less harder on your CPU, and the CPU doesn't do very well with this unless you have a really good one, which mine's pretty good, but it's nothing that's like streaming quality quite and recording quality. Right now for this video, I have this on CQP. You can change the rate control. I'm not quite sure what that does. I've always kept it on CQP though. And then I keep that at 25. The preset, I keep it on high quality, main. And then everything down here, just kind of the same. Audio, I haven't messed with any of that. And then the replay buffer, nothing on there. Okay, now this audio section, I just have my sample rate. It's kept the same. I have to keep this. Now, with this, you guys might have to use stereo, because you may be using a different microphone than what I am, where I'm using a condenser mic, the AT2020. Everything is just one input. It's not stereo where there's it's not like two mics. It's just one microphone right there. So I have to put it into mono first, and then it converts it into where you can listen to it in stereo. Because if I don't do that, then you'll just hear it in one ear. Yeah, that's all that is right there. The desktop audio device, that is what you're hearing. So say you're listening to music or you're playing your game, you can hear the audio coming through. That's what you want to choose here. Usually you can leave that on default and it should automatically pick it up, but you may have to change it. So that's my audio that I'm listening through. And what you'll also want to set up, just keep this one disabled and these two here disabled. If you're using a microphone, you'll simply just click on this and then choose it, or it should just be on, it should either be disabled or default. And you'll just want to either choose it or keep it on default. And if it's on default, it should detect it as well. Another large thing, you can set up things here like push to talk or push to mute as well, but I don't use any of them. I just have it go the whole time. Video, I can't change anything until I'm not recording. However, you can see that I have it at 1080p and 1080p, so 1920 by 1080. Say if you're recording at 720p though on a 720p monitor, you want both of these to be 1280 by 720, 1280 by 720. Or if you're not able to stream at 1080p, however, you can stream at 720p, but like a downscaled 720p, you can keep your base resolution on 1080 and then put it at 720. So this can be 1920 by 1080 and 1280 by 720. And it'll be a slight bump in quality, sort of. It kind of, it downscales it, so it kind of looks a little better than just straight up 720p, 720p. It's 1080 down to 720, so it kind of looks a little sharper. This right here, I just keep it on common FPS values, and then I keep the downscale filter up to the very top, so that way it's the sharpest that it can be. So I keep it on the Lanczos. Pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. You can set your frame rate here, which is a very hard hitter on performance. Most of you will probably want to do 30, which is 30 frames per second. You can kind of figure out how you want it, but if you don't have it at least at 60, then it won't be a full 60 FPS, and it'll kind of be it'll be less smooth. I love 60 FPS. I think it looks smooth. 30 though would definitely help with performance. hotkeys, you can set these to how you want, but the biggest ones you'll use is start streaming, stop streaming, start recording, and stop recording. When I stream, I just select the start streaming button that's down here, and that's not really a problem for me. But for recording, I don't necessarily want to click it and then do that. I just want to press a button and start. So I use my scroll lock button to start recording, and I use my pause button to stop. Everything else, you can mess around with it, but I don't use any of this, like pushing the button to mute your mic. You can do that and stuff down here. Pretty much anything. You can set up any kind of binds. It can get kind of complicated if you try to remember all these though, so I don't mess around with them too much. Okay, in advanced now, your process priority, I keep it on above normal, so that way it's not really taking priority over my game, so that way I'm not like losing a lot of frames. I don't drop any frames when I stream if I have it set up right though, so it's mostly fine on this. And then you kind of want to keep everything at this. I don't think there's anything here set at first, so if you want, I can copy this here. Yeah, I think I copied this off of another video, and it's just the formatting. It helps with performance. I'm not sure exactly. You can kind of see a code when it comes up here, like how it kind of sets it up. Oh yeah, no, that's just the file name. So it kind of sets up how, when you look at it, when it first comes up, say right here. So now I put this over here. This is the video that's recording right now. It sets right here. It has a little kind of code thing you can set up. So it shows like the year in like 4 digits or the year in the last 2. So right now I have it on the year in 4 digits, so 2018, and then the month, date, and then the time, which is set up hours, minutes, and seconds. Yeah, that's how that is. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty much it in the settings. And that's pretty much everything, except for whenever you want to record, you're going to want to change your mic here, and you're going to want to look at properties and make sure it's selected here too. Same with the desktop audio, make sure it's also selected here. Yeah, that's basically it. You can also click here to start streaming or stop recording. Yeah, that's basically it. Make sure these are selected whenever you start though, otherwise it'll just be a black screen. And that's pretty much the setup there, guys. In case you're wondering how I recorded, that's how I record. I think the quality's pretty good, and my dog doesn't like me. And personally, I think it does a very good job. You can also see how long the video is, which we're coming up to the 13-minute mark, which is quite a long time. So I might cut it down, but I kind of want to make sure you guys see everything that I have it set up as. You can also set up your, I think I forgot to show the, let's see. Yeah, it shows the recording path. So I just have it go to the desktop. You can click browse and change where your videos are going to go once you're done. So mine's actually right here. It's recording right now, and it'll actually show you. But whenever I'm done with these, I put them in this fences thing, which is on Steam. It's kind of a organizer, and I think it looks very nice. So I just mouse over stuff, see all my programs, all my folders, and then all my files and videos I put here. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I actually got a free copy. Well, not free. It was like 20 bucks on the Humble Bundle. So now I have Vegas Pro 14, and I actually have like a legit version of it now. So that's how I edit videos, and I might show that one day too. But that's everything on OBS. That's how I set up everything and record. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and you learned a thing or two maybe. And hope you guys have a great day. Peace.